Hey everyone, I'm having a This Week in Stupid extra stream with copyright criminal number one. Barry, how you doing, man?
There we go.
Barry, you realise you've sunk the other company with your copyright theft. I mean, you must be aware.
I know. I think they're looking for a government bailout after the Bearing attack.
Well, you should really be donating to their Patreon about this. So, so how are things going other than that? I mean, it must have been pretty fucking scary to see your channel down in one day, like.
Yeah, look, it was, but I mean, they were very reasonable to deal with. So
yeah,
it wasn't that hard to get it back, but no, it's certainly relieving, put it that way.
Yeah, that's a fucking relief. Right, okay, so yeah, what's been going on with you before we start? Anything else apart from the drama?
Much the same as you. Bit of fisty splinters, mate.
That's a great.
I was just saying before, mate. She's like a pendulum. She's bearing Sargon. She's there's a little bit of science in between, but it's not much.
That's basically it for anyone who doesn't know the saga. But basically, for anyone who doesn't know, Christy Winters is she's not a feminist academic, is it? She's actually like a political scientist or something.
Yeah, she's a sociologist, isn't she?
Yeah, something like that. And but she is also like a feminist. And so whenever anyone does anything, she always couches everything in the context of being a feminist. So yeah, I'm gonna show you my latest encounter with her, and I've had a good time with this. This has just been amazing, right? So she tweeted out this. It's an article at the Washington Post. Men's attitudes about women were changing in one Indian village. Then a dowry dispute turned deadly. So it's pretty awful, obviously. Yeah. And I saw this caption and I was just like, "What the fuck? Women are not going to get beaten now without reason." Well, which is fantastic. So I mean, I don't want people beating their women without a good reason. I mean, you beat your woman if you've got a reason or not at all. And that's basically what I tweeted her. I was like, love the caption, totally agree. If you're going to beat a woman, make sure you have a good reason.
Oh, so you've just slung it back at it.
Yeah.
She's tweeted out.
Yeah, she's literally in support of wife beating at this point, right?
Oh my god! And fucking hell! And the way she's go on. Sorry, go on.
No, you go on.
No, that's all.
Okay, so the article is quite long, so I won't go through the whole thing, but I did read it, and it was, it's heartbreaking, the conditions these women have to live in. But it's just the way it's all framed that really got me. And then when you there were some specific points, like this picture of this chap on the left, who's the guy who beats his wife, and it's stuff like this little quote at the bottom, which is what I took a screenshot of and tweeted to her. According to Yunus Khan, left, since he started the gender sensitivity classes, which is what he was doing, he has not hit his wife as hard as before. What a fucking hero! What? God, it's the least he could do, isn't it?
No, they're doing good.
And then this Regina sits with her children and her husband, Mohammed, 25, an electrician who attends a gender sensitivity class and recently permitted her to leave the village by herself for the first time. Oh, practically liberated then. Fucking yeah! Can you even imagine? And it's fucking tragic.
I can't believe she can bring us to tweet this shit out. I really can't.
I just love it, right? But there was
I can't. Yeah, I wouldn't have imagined Christy tweeting this
out. Where is it? There was. Oh, where the hell was it? I can't remember.
And so that's all become that's become a video about you saying Sargon, likes to beat women.
This has become the video of me. There was a quote in here as well. I should have grabbed it before I started, where he'd said that one of the husbands had basically said something like, I don't beat my wife to the point where she has to go to the hospital anymore. And it's like, fucking thumbs up.
That's a gentlemanly thing to do,
Yeah, and so I mean, like Wreck-It Ralph here is just like, at least from Clickhole, and I'm like, nope, New York Times or whatever it was. Washington Post, sorry.
At least we what? Click.
At least from Click, like The Onion, because they look like they're from The Onion. But Christy took this badly. She got really angry, And yeah, she did a video on it.
So,
and
so that's
look,
all you've done. You've pretty much just tweeted back quotes that she's tweeted out back to it.
Yeah, and so she's done a video called "Sargon is beating women for good reason is okay." She's turning into Jess Phillips. It's like, no, Christy, that's exactly the point of what I was saying, because she, and I swear to God, she's doing this deliberately and autistically, saying, well, you literally said that this is what you do. So yeah, that's because that's literally sarcasm, Christy. And Sean Head,
is she a dumb cunt or is she a dishonest cunt? She's got to be.
She's dishonest. She's dishonest. She knows she's being dishonest. I should have got the fucking stuff. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Quote where in his tweets, when he makes fun of him, show me the exact words used to communicate. I'm making fun of this guy, obviously, because, you know, well done for being such a brave man. And this rebel absurdity guy has replied saying, look, he's making fun of the idiotic man in the picture. Precisely the opposite of making fun of domestic violence. He's just like, quote where in his tweets he makes fun of him. Show the exact words he uses to communicate that. I was just like, well, you did that, Christy. And the fact that he's there, right there, Christy. That's the... But yeah, so it got to the point where she did like a 10-minute video, basically saying, well, not even basically, saying straight out that I think beating women is funny. And it's like, Christy, you're a fucking idiot. I'm mocking you for tweeting out an article that is tacitly in support of beating women because it's not quite as bad as it used to be. I mean, they are low fucking standards for feminism.
I'm a woman beater now. Been on this stream with you, man. I'm fucking tiny.
Oh, dude, you're fucked. You were fucked long before. Guilt by association is a thing with these people. Remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, have you seen this one?
No.
Here's how black people could use jury nullification to break the justice system. That sounds fair, doesn't it? Sorry, I'll zoom in a bit so people can see on the screen.
And jury nullification, what's that? Is that where you disqualify yourself from being able to serve on a jury?
Nah, it's way worse than that. It's way worse, right? So they say African Americans live in a world where the police can murder us and get away with it. Walter Scott proved that. One example. That's the proof. One example. For anyone who had a lingering doubt, there is no justice for black people. There's just none. And yet violently against the system, violently revolting against the system will get us nowhere, because you'll lose. Maybe it's time for black people to use the same tool that white people have been using to defy a system they do not consent to. Jury nullification. White juries regularly refuse to convict or indict cops for murder. White juries refuse to convict vigilantes who murder black children. White juries refuse to convict other white people for property crimes. Yeah. This is just a standard in America, I guess. White juries act like the law is just a guideline and their personal morality or lack thereof should be controlling. Maybe it's time minorities got in on the game.
How do they propose to do this?
Well, black people lucky enough to get on a jury could use that power to acquit any person charged with a crime against white men and white male institutions. It's not about the race of the defendant, but if the alleged victim is a white guy or his bank or his position or his authority, we should acquit. Assault, acquit. Burglary, acquit. Inside trading, acquit. Murder? What the hell do you think's happening to black people out there? What the hell do you think we're complaining about when your cops shoot us or choke us? Acquit. What do you reckon?
That is fucked.
Isn't that just the most incredible thing in the world? Do you know what? It's Whitey's fault, and any Whitey will do. I mean, and this is a website called Above the Law. I don't know how popular it is, but it's just one of those things where it's like...
Above the Law?
Yeah, I know. Isn't that just the best name for it?
And so, is this like a Black Lives Matter associated thing? Or?
I don't think it is directly associated with Black Lives Matter, but I think there's no doubt that this person supports Black Lives Matter. I mean, I'd be staggered if they didn't. What do you reckon?
That's insane. That is fucking insane.
Can you imagine? I mean, that's the sort of thing you'd see on Stormfront, isn't it? You know, like the white nationalists. No, just convict any black guy or nigger. Sorry. You know, just convict.
Would you though? Would you see it on there? I mean, I haven't perused the pages of Stormfront much. But would you see that sort of thing?
Well, I assume so. Yeah, I don't go on there, but I should ask V. He goes on there quite a lot just to laugh at. Yeah, no, he goes on there to find as much as he can. He loves it. But to be fair, they do have a whole section called the Jews, so it is quite amusing. So what do you think the reaction should be to this?
Well, it should be outrage. What was it? Are we told what the reaction is?
I don't know. Let's have a look to see if there are any comments. They keep going, but there's no need to get past.
There's comments. Oh, cool.
Well,
not many places have comments anymore, do they?
No, I'm fucking wrong. There aren't any comments. I just naturally assumed.
Yeah.
But
it's becoming rarer and rarer.
Yeah, but I love this kind of fucking collective responsibility they think that everyone should have. You know, it's like, and then you've got like fucking Trevor Noah going, oh well, Black Lives Matter didn't do nothing. And it's like, yeah, but you want like all white people to pay the price for what white people have done in history. Shouldn't Black Lives Matter pay the price for what Black Lives Matter has done?
Yeah, I'll tell you what was a little bit similar. I was speaking to Karen and Alison at Honey Badger about what's his name? The bloke that runs the men's rights thing in the website. What's his name?
Voice for Men. Paul Elam, yeah.
Yeah, apparently he said no matter what evidence, like if he was on a jury in a rape trial, no matter what evidence was put in front of him, he would always vote not guilty. Was
that true? I assume that was a lie made up by feminists.
Well, no, Karen and Alison were arguing it. We're justifying it. I said that's fucking ridiculous. I mean,
yeah,
if you've got fucking video evidence of some guy raping a woman, how can you not?
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly the same kind of like tribalism, isn't it?
Yeah, but they were pretty staunch about it. I'll try and find it for you and shoot and see after this.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. Like Richard Coughlin, a like atheist YouTuber, he regularly rips into Paul Elam, and I don't really know much about Paul Elam, so I don't really, I assume there was something back there that I didn't know about, and that was one of the things he constantly brings up, and I just assumed he was misrepresenting him, because it's ridiculous.
Apparently he's not.
How could you argue that? I mean, what's the rationale?
Well, I think the rationale is that what was it? It was because certain types of evidence cannot be presented in rape cases. So, say for example, I think one of them was anything to do with a past sexual relationship type thing.
Right.
So, I'm very hazy on this, but I mean, there was an example they gave me where I think a girl claimed she was raped, right? And there was a black dude she was accusing, and she claimed that she had no sexual history. She was she's a virgin.
Yeah.
But it turns out she had been living with a boyfriend who was black.
Right. Yeah.
For the last few months, but that evidence was inadmissible or something, because it was to do with a past sexual history type thing. I'll have to do some research on this, but it was very, very similar to that. And it was like the fellow that got accused, I think got convicted because they found a black guy's pubic hair in the when they did the rape kit or whatever.
Yeah.
And you see where it's going, and it turns out it was the boyfriend, but this accused guy got pinged for it because they couldn't admit that evidence. So I think that's the basis on which he sort of takes that stance, but it still seems
that's really weird and specific, isn't it? I mean,
yeah.
But like you say,
it's all technicality shit like that. if you had just blatant evidence in front of you, I mean, how can you?
No,
stuff you can't deny.
It's unconscionable. You couldn't do that. I mean, that's terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
So right, okay, I'll
That's fucked. That's nullification. I've never heard of that.
I think it's just the term for like rigging the system by deliberate action by the people within the system. I don't think it's like a outside the system thing. Right. So do you know who Sadiq Khan is?
Name rings a bell.
He's the mayor of London. He's the first Muslim mayor of London, and he's been so like so wildly regressive. It's painful. I mean, earlier, well, I think was it this year or last year? It must have been this year, at the beginning of this year. He banned the Beach Body Ready adverts on the London Underground.
I remember that.
Yeah, because it offended Muslims and Islamists. It's just like, you know, feminists and Islamists. And it's just like, you know, I don't care if feminists and Islamists are offended. That's actually they're the people I want offended.
Is that's not what he came? That's not actually what he came out with, was it? Wasn't it?
Yeah, no, because you know, well, you know, like it basically, it's like, oh well, what was it he said? Something
I
like
thought the official line was body shaming. Was you know,
yeah.
want to make fat feel bad, but
but
the underlying thing was, you know, go Sharia.
Well, I know that there were both feminists and Muslims campaigning for it. So I assume that it was look at that disgusting form of Western oppression. Foul. How could they? So yeah, basically, it was not banned by the Advertising Standards Authority, despite more than 200 complaints of whiny, butthurt feminists. But I love the argument.
It was not banned. Not banned by the Advertising Standards Authority. No. Who was it banned by? No. The actual city.
Just the mayor himself, because, and this is his reason, as the father of 2 teenage girls, I'm extremely concerned about this kind of advertising which can demean people, particularly women, and make them ashamed of their bodies. It's high time it came to an end. What the fuck is demeaning about that? What the fuck is demeaning about this?
Ridiculous.
It's absurd, isn't it? It's just beyond the pale. And so nobody should feel pressurized while they travel on the tube or bus into unrealistic expectations surrounding their bodies. And I want to send a clear message to the advertising industry about this. But all they're getting, Sadiq, is that you're a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, so, and if you're too precious to get on a fucking train and look at a better body than yours, you probably shouldn't be riding on the fucking train by yourself, should you?
Oh, you should probably get down the fucking gym. Jesus Christ, if it bothers you that much, the problem is with you, you know? So yeah, Sadiq has decided he's looking to scrap ladies and gentlemen in favor of gender-neutral announcements on London trains and buses. What? Why?
Well, just for like PA system announcements.
Yes, excuse me, fellow humans. We have an announcement. This train is delayed.
So what's he want to change it to?
I don't know. Let's find out. So yeah, he plans to introduce gender-neutral announcements on network trains and buses after a transgender woman was mocked by staff. What shouldn't you be just disciplining the staff who mocked the transgender woman? Mm. And I mean, and this is it. The proposal comes after Amy Challenor was told in November that she didn't sound like a miss during a call to TfL's Oyster Helpline.
Well, that's fair enough, isn't it?
That's fucking... No. You know what we need to do now? We need to ban pronouns. Jesus fucking Christ. In response, Mr. Khan cucked himself totally. Sorry, I mean apologized unreservedly for the inappropriate remark and pledged more to do more to foster equality, including potentially removing ladies and gentlemen from announcements across London's transport network.
How the fuck is that going to stop someone in the future saying, "Geez, you got a deep voice"?
You don't sound like a miss. Shut up, Harry.
Ridiculous.
You know, I identify as a woman now. Well, it's stupid, isn't it? But it's so over the top. That's the thing. It's so disproportionate to what's happened to this person. They get so, well, you don't sound like a miss. It's like, oh my god, oppression. So
and one fucking case, one case.
Yeah, it's not even like a systemic problem with this fucking organization or something, you know. And even then, I'd still be like, look, that's still ridiculous and extreme. You should just discipline the people, give them a code of conduct. But yeah, it's weird that it's just like this kind of intense virtue signaling that he seems to get into.
Yeah, okay. That's how long's his term? This what's his name? Khan.
You know, Sadiq Khan. I'm actually not sure. I would have to look it up, but I love this. Miss Challenor has called on the mayor to do more to tackle ignorance, as if this is not enough on its own. To tackle
ignorance. That's a fucking stupid statement. To tackle ignorance.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, why the fuck would Sadiq even agree to any of this? You'd be like, well, look, it's actually not my job to defeat ignorance. It's my job to.
I'm not responsible for what everyone doesn't fucking know.
It's my job to govern London sensibly. So I'm banning gender pronouns.
Yeah.
I love it. But the thing is,
I'd really like to know what he's going to replace him with.
Well, that's a good call. Well, Z and Zia or something like that, isn't it? She says that the Independent. She told the Independent of her shock at her identity being called into question. Her identity being called into question. How fragile are these people? If just saying, "Well, you sound like a mist," or "You don't sound like a mist." I mean, that. Can you imagine like being really upset if someone's like, "Well, you don't sound like a mist." You'd be like, "Well, fuck you, I am." So deal with it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, if someone said, "Excuse me, Mister Me," I'd probably be a little bit puzzled, but I don't think I'd be.
Yeah, I'd assume the problem was with the person I was talking to, you know. But I love this. I just said I am, but I just said I am. I am Ami Challoner, and they replied, "You don't sound like a miss." I was just in shock. I really didn't know how to respond. You said you were. You know, that just say, "Well, duh, shut up." It's
yeah. And is there no fucking objective truth that like we're at the stage now where we've got to just ignore objective truth. The dude, I mean, the dude chick did sound like a dude. I'll bet you.
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, of course, it must. You know, the person must have sounded like a fairly butch dude, or at least masculine in some way. Otherwise, there'd have been no need to make the comment. But this is the sort of thing I see with Blair White all the time. She's the one. She's like the one sort of person on the internet I see actually putting out the sort of medical information about transgenderism. You know, her and V Monroe are the only people who say things like, "Well, this is actually a sterilization process, so be aware because this is you're never having kids if you go through this." And yet they never tell anyone that, do they? They never tell.
No, it's not brought up as much as you would think. How was did you see that fucking Riley, ex Justin Dennis, chick or bloke, whatever it is, did that video about your dating preferences and how if you won't date a trans person you're transphobic?
I saw that Blair had done a video on it, but I haven't seen the video yet. Was it good?
That's ridiculous. Like he stands there questioning. If you wouldn't date a trans person, you're trans. Well, what about kids? What about the biological function of fucking dating, you fuckhead? Like it's really simple. You're not bigoted if you have a desire to do what humans are supposed to do.
Well, what drives me crazy about it is the idea that, okay, I mean, I've seen feminists say the same thing, on Tumblr and stuff, where they're like, well, it's an unnecessary distinction. But yeah, you've seen the posts on Tumblr where they're like, you are obligated to find fat women attractive and stuff like that. It's like, look, no one is obligated for me to find them attractive, and I can choose any reason I want. I mean, hell, I'll choose the size of your nose or the fact that you're ugly as shit if I want,
I'm sorry, but my cock does not understand equality, and it fucking never will.
And it doesn't have to either. If your chromosomes are XY, I am not obligated to find you attractive. I mean, even if they're XX, I'm not. So fuck off, you twat. So right, let's see. Is there anything?
So we didn't find out. We didn't find out what he was going to make him call everyone. Like, is it just
no? They just quote unquote gender neutral. But gender neutral announcements will make a difference not just to trans people, but to everyone who thinks that being greeted as ladies and gentlemen is out of date, which is just regressive nutcases. It's amazing, isn't it? It's just like, and this is an article. This is something that's being reported on and all this sort of stuff. But amazing. So
that's got comments. What are the comments saying?
Oh, do you want to have a look? Right, okay. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's a traditional classic. Yeah, it is. Wonderfully polite to them. It is. It's also highly trans exclusionary because, in fact, is it trans exclusionary? Why is it trans exclusionary?
Well, it's not, because it's supposed to be transing from one to the other. So
exactly.
Should be either a lady or a gentleman.
This is the thing that's always driven me crazy about trans as an identity. It's like, you're trying to be one thing or the other. You don't want to be stuck in the middle in the process of transition. Do you?
They shouldn't be called trans. They should be called stuck.
Yeah, basically. But because that's the thing. If I was a transgender person myself, I'd be like, well, don't distinguish me from a regular woman or man or whatever I transitioned into, because the point.
You'd be a fucking horrible trans person. So
dude, I would be the fucking ugliest woman in the world. Someone.
I'm just picturing you haven't even shaved your fucking beard off.
Oh, of course I would. Jesus Christ. Seriously, a while ago, one of my mates was like, fucking hell, that woman looked like you. And I'm like, fucking hell, bad luck. I honestly feel genuinely bad for any woman who ends up looking like me. Seriously, that would be the worst. You know, it's bad enough being a man and looking like me. So, yeah, I don't... oh, this is interesting. This is the scary bit. Mr. Khan's response was better than we could have had at this time last year, but there's still steps to be done. And they're like, yes, your demands are met like kidnappers, but there will always be more demands to follow. That is a fucking great comment. This guy is obviously someone who watches our channels.
Yeah.
But yeah, this thing, right? You know what's interesting? I think that you can actually judge the mood of public opinion from the comment sections.
Yeah, and that's why they turn them off.
Yeah, that's exactly why they turn them off, because it shows them that the public's against them, and that's what drives me crazy. And I think that's why they were so out of touch with the elections and Brexit and Trump. Just the fact that they don't read the comments, and yet this is where people are voicing their opinions. It probably is a representative sample to a degree, you know.
Of course it is. It's literally the people who are reading the article that feel strongly enough to comment.
Yeah. You know, when you find a comment with like 1,000 upvotes on it, well, it's probably got some traction with most, with a lot of people. But
yeah. Unless it's against feminism, then it's just bigotry.
Oh yeah, then it's just misogyny, obviously. So, Trump being named Times Man of the Year, what did you think?
Oh, to be honest with you, I didn't. That's news to me, but I mean that's fair enough. I mean,
really, you didn't know?
Problem with it.
They've been flipping their shit on Twitter.
Have they? No, I haven't.
Oh yeah,
that's the first I've heard of that. When did that get announced?
Oh, literally a day or 4 days ago now. But yeah, he's
I think that's fair enough. He fucking he did a lot to to swing what looked like a really fucking hard election to swing, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he absolutely has earned it. And this is what always drives me crazy about like people who are just psychotically anti-Trump. I mean, I'm not really a pro-Trump supporter, but you've got to admire someone who does stand up to slings and arrows like that. And it's the same with Nigel Farage. You know, even if you're not like a particularly big follower of these people, like to have so many millions of people saying this sort of stuff about you takes a great deal of fortitude, I think. You know,
yeah, absolutely. And the shit that Trump went up against, like he was slandered like nothing else. He really copped it, didn't he?
Who wasn't he up against? You know, like he was up against the media, the politicians, the big business interests, like oil interests who are backing Jeb Bush. You've got Wall Street and various other sort of banking interests who are backing Hillary. You've got Soros and all that sort of types, and then you've got all the foreign money. So like the international community is backing Hillary Clinton, and then you've got half the population roughly, and it's just like Jesus Christ. I mean, that's just so much power against him, and yet he comes out on top. You've got to admire that.
Did you see the tweet off he had with that Saudi prince?
I didn't. What happened?
There was a Saudi prince. He's like the third in line of the throne or something.
Yeah.
And he was one of the ones backing the Clinton campaign.
Of course he was.
And
Saudi prince backed Clinton, more at 11.
I'm not sure how far through the campaign it was, but this guy tweeted Donald Trump saying, "You may as well withdraw. You're not going to fucking win the presidency."
Love it.
Basically. And Trump, what did he do? He wrote back. I think he wrote straight back. Fucking trying to buy American politicians with daddy's money. Not going to happen when I'm the president. and this guy, this fucking this prince, after he won the election, sort of just wrote him this tweet that was just sucking up his ass real bad. It was I hope we can put it behind us. I've always admired you type thing. Fuck, it was funny.
I can only imagine how much all of these. Hillary's campaign cost like 1.3 billion as well. So sinking over $1 billion into a failed candidate, man, that just I can only imagine the fucking fury that was going on in Hillary. I mean, she didn't give her own concession speech. And John Podesta had to come out and give it for her campaign manager. And I can apparently
she got shit faced and threw a tantrum that night, started throwing things around. And
I can completely believe it. I mean, come on, she'd done everything and still lost. So
yeah.
I can totally fucking believe that she pitched a fit. I probably would. You know, you can hardly blame her. To be fair, she has worked for like 30 years to get this, and then fucking failed, been picked at the post by the fucking king of the Oompa Loompas. You know?
Well, what's your take on all the? I mean, there seems to be a lot of fear from LGBT communities and all that about Trump. I mean, what's your thoughts?
I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't ever recall Trump having an anti-gay stance on anything.
Well, yeah, no, I don't think he has. I mean, I think it's more the people around him. But I suppose interview with Trump where he's actually quite positive to the gay community.
Well, he was a Democrat for years. He gave a lot of money to the Democrats, and so I mean, I saw an interview with him not so long ago. I think it was 2011, where he said, "Look, I hate abortion, but we can't. You know, it has to be an option." And that's exactly how I feel about abortion. You know, it's a horrid thing, but you can't just get rid of it just because it's horrid. You know, it is also necessary in certain cases and whatnot. You know, so I don't think he's particularly like backwards on those sort of issues. Like you say, it's probably the fact that he chose Mike Pence, right? Who apparently I've been told doesn't actually want mandatory electroshock therapy for queers, which honestly I just find that disappointing.
So I understand.
Despite what the mainstream media would have you believe, of course.
I think the other thing with Mike Pence is, like a few people have said, I think he's just the world's greatest life insurance policy.
Yeah, there is definitely something to be said for choosing someone so much worse than you in their minds that they just can't afford to get rid of you.
It does make sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. The whole like, Trump's playing 4D chess and whatnot. There might be something to it. There honestly might be. I don't think
Trump's playing for the what?
Trump's playing 4D chess, 4-dimensional chess. As in, he's thinking like 3 or 4 steps ahead of them and to the right, or to the left or something. Like as if he's got all of this planned out and stuff. And it's like, look, I don't think he has all of this like planned out. I think generally he lucks into situations by being bold. He's just like,
absolutely.
Exactly. He's I don't even care. And then they all get on their high horses and whinge. And that's the thing people hate. And so nobody cares that he's been ridiculous.
How can you possibly have any fucking... I mean, how can you really be confident going into be the president? You'd be shitting yourself. Every president would be shitting themselves. No one's got experience,
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Everyone's like, "Oh, Hillary's the most experienced candidate." So yeah, I think that might be the problem. It's the fact that she is just at the center of this giant web of power is a real issue for me, and I don't like it. I don't think any one individual should have that much power in any kind of Republican system. I mean, honestly, I was watching it thinking of like, it sounded like almost Caesar-like levels of influence, and with like the triumvirate and stuff like this, where they're so embedded into the political system that they are effectively in command of it, even if they don't need to be physically in command of anything. It's just everyone around them is going to say yes to what they ask, so they may as well be the one in charge. That's what bothered me so much about Hillary Clinton. It's
and the presumptions that were made were pretty off-putting. Like that newspaper printed all those like collectible magazines with Madam President on the front. It was pretty scary.
I really want one of those.
I was very glad when Trump won. I was very, very glad. It was refreshing.
Oh, same with Brexit. I couldn't believe it. I was doing a live stream at the time, and about 3/4 of the way through the night, we were not looking at each other, but metaphorically looking at each other, going, "What? Hang on, have we just won this?" Because I expected to lose. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're on the right side. You made the wise choice." It's like, well, I didn't actually. I thought I was going to be on the losing side, but I chose that side because I thought it was right, and I didn't think now was the time. I thought we were going to have to go through another like 4 or 5 years of these people doing what they do before the public really got off their asses and voted in the right way. But
weren't they having pushing for a re-vote or a parliamentary vote or something?
Oh yeah, just like with Trump, And I love that with the recount with Trump, it didn't change anything. So that was pointless. But yeah, the Remainers are basically called the Ramonas now, and even like Remainers will adopt the label Ramona because they understand that they are just being whiny bitches at the moment, and they're just complaining.
What they call themselves Ramonas.
Some of them, honestly, I did like this podcast in London a while ago, well, a couple of weeks ago, and I was asking the guy, so would you describe yourself as like a Ramona or something? He was like, oh yeah, I am absolutely a Ramona. You know, it's okay. You know, it's not meant to be something you're proud of. I can't accept a democratic referendum. But seriously, we've had fucking like just ridiculous marches and quite sizable protests, and it's just like, look, what the fuck are you even protesting? What do you think's going to happen? Everyone's going to, you know what? Because you're angry, you lost the vote. We're not going to leave.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's like the elections as well. You know, you see these people burning things in the street. Like, what do you expect's going to happen? Oh, okay, we'll change the president.
Yeah, you're right. We weren't taking your feelings into consideration. Yeah. It's like, fuck off, you losers. You know, you've just got to deal with it. You've just got to sack up. But you know what I think it is? I think it's because in their own minds they've talked themselves into thinking that this is basically an apocalyptic decision. You know, it's all or nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and they'd already won it in their head, so it was reality. You know, their reality was reality, and this one just wasn't a possibility. So it's
and yeah, just like this only happened because the world is evil, and it's like, dude, you are so disconnected from what's actually happening in people's lives that I mean, most people can't afford to live in a bubble and ignore reality. Most people can't do it. Most people's got to deal with the real world, and these people apparently didn't. I mean, I went over this thing with Madonna in This Week in Stupid, where she's literally talking like she's lost a family member or something. It's like, dude, it was a fucking election. It was just an election. It was, you know. And the thing is, another thing, they're acting like we're electing dictators as well. It's like these people aren't just given like the keys to the whatever office it is and told, right, okay, go crazy. You know, we'll get the gas camps fired up and we'll be eradicating the Jews by 7, or you know, it's just fucking ridiculous.
Hey, is my mic better, chat? There's some people grizzling in the chat about my mic. I've just turned it up a bit. Apparently, I was pretty quiet.
Right. Okay. Oh, I can hear you. Okay. But yeah. So the point of this one, as you can obviously tell by the title, Donald Trump was just named Times Person of the Year. Hitler once held that title too.
Oh,
of course,
fuck's sake!
Of fucking course it is. It's just like, yes, it's a Godwin's law situation. We have, I mean, that's actually where and it's true. You know, I mean, they don't talk about like Nelson Mandela and people like that who have also held it. No. Just Hitler, because that's what they want. That's just. In fact, I'm going to screen cap that. That can be the thumbnail. Yeah, it's like.
That's
fucking.
That is so fucking.
It's so juvenile, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are you fucking thinking, you fucking idiot? Right, okay, what are they thinking? Right. So, Time magazine just named Donald Trump its Person of the Year for 2016. The man who bragged about grabbing a woman by the pussy, mocked a journalist with a disability, and implied a judge couldn't be impartial because of his Mexican heritage is the person who won 2016. Now, if I recall correctly, there was actually a popular vote to see who was going to be.
I'm pretty sure there was, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not. I don't. I mean, obviously, Time magazine have editorial discretion over it, but I don't think that. I don't think they necessarily feel that they can just ignore the highest vote in there. I imagine they feel, you know, because it's quite a long-running tradition. So I imagine that they probably feel obliged to follow it.
Yeah, you think so.
But I love how salty they are about 2016. This is just the kind of tie-off with a red bow that we need for what's been a wonderful year. It's been a pretty good year, actually. I think it's been good. How's your 2016 been?
Has the Electoral College vote been yet?
I don't think it has. So apparently a bunch of them were planning to kind of defect, weren't they?
Were they really?
Oh, yeah. I'll
Yeah, so it'd be a fucking tense time between the popular election and the Electoral College thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you've got See, now Michael Moore, the one man fucking
disgusting. He's disgusting. That guy. He's fucking gross.
I can't believe. Oh shit! Why? Come on, fucking get the jowls. You know, if you look at like a sperm whale or something, you actually look.
It's like a sperm whale with a mullet and glasses.
Look, you see what I mean? Like, I mean, I can't. If Michael Moore were cool, he'd make a hell of a good Pepe, but he's not. So he just looks like a fucking sperm whale. And when you've got him on mute, he just looks like he's sifting for krill, doesn't he?
He does, yeah, he does. The way his mouth's moving, I can picture it.
But to be fair, he did predict Trump's victory. So,
did he really?
You know, maybe. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
He's the only one out of fucking everyone in America, even the Trump supporters, that predicted Trump's win.
Pretty much. It's because he's like a working class lad from the Rust Belt. So he, you know, obviously, and he still lives up there. So he speaks to the people around him, and they're all pissed off. And no one from the mainstream media cared. They obviously oversampled their polls or something in certain areas. And so, he was just a lone voice in the wilderness. And then everyone on the left is just like, look at him, go, okay, Michael, what the fuck did we do wrong? He's just like, well. So yeah, he's predicting that he won't make it to the White House. Since his defeat of former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, progressives have debated ways in which New York businessmen could be blocked from becoming the president of the United States. I love that. The arrogance of it. You don't have the right to block him from becoming the president. You know, he won your electoral cycle the way you've always. I mean, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote against Barack Obama in 2012 as well. Did you know that?
Well, I suppose technically they can't they? Because isn't the actual vote left with the elector? So, I mean,
with the
electoral
electoral college,
road, can't they?
Yeah, they can. But
no. What I'm saying is, isn't a state's vote like a state's given so many votes? Isn't that vote, entrusted in that elector that actually goes to Washington and elects?
You know, I'm not sure.
That bloke can be.
I think it would be.
That was my understanding. That bloke can change their mind at the last minute if they.
I understand that there's not a legal restriction, but I think that it's probably sort of a thing that would be considered bad form. So something that people.
Oh, definitely, and it'd be fucking it'd be lifelong party members and that. But I mean,
you are going to get some pissed off people if you're like, I'll be an elector for Donald Trump. So, and then you get there and you're like, you know what? Actually, fuck Donald Trump. I can
imagine how much. Imagine how much an electoral college vote would be worth if you were just crooked and you go and vote for sale.
Jesus, I didn't think about that. Elector. Yeah, man, I bet you could make a fuckload of money being a traitor. Fucking turncoats, honestly.
And Trump could afford
it. That's a good point as well. Trump could buy you off.
So could the Clinton.
Donald Trump, if you want to buy me off.
Dutch auction.
Exactly. You're a billionaire. You can afford to buy me off. Stop being a bitch.
Exactly.
So blocking after from recount efforts to appealing to electors in the electoral college casting votes Clinton, there are a number of unlikely scenarios that could result in Trump never making it to inauguration. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets assassinated. I really would not be surprised if Trump gets assassinated.
Yeah, but that's where Pence comes in, man. That's Pence's job, effectively, just to be there and be alive.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. I mean, he maybe he is playing four-dimensional chess. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying he just seems like such a buffoon. I don't think he'd be capable of it. But here we are. He's the president. What do I know?
Look, he's obviously an accomplished businessman. Yeah, he would be thinking some steps ahead. Maybe not four, but
yeah. I mean, maybe I'm just doing him a total disservice. It's just I just watch him talk and just think, right, okay, this doesn't strike me as being a man of particularly high intelligence. Not that he doesn't sound particularly stupid. He just seems fairly average.
I think it's because he's a bit. I think it's because he's a bit tacky. I think that's what you're saying. He's a bit tacky. Like he likes. He doesn't mind a limo. He likes a glamorous chick to grab by the pussy. He likes all that shit. He's got a Trump tower. That's just tackiness. That's a.
Yeah. I think you probably got a point there.
Dumb.
Yeah, no, I think you probably got a point there. Actually, it is obviously just my perception of him necessarily, not necessarily what he's actually like. But I mean, don't get me wrong. It's quite a masterful disguise if that's the case as well. So, good on him.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he is there anything else that he said? I believe Trump is going to focus much of his attention on the 4 blue states, the Rust Belt of the Great Upper Lakes, blah blah. So yeah, nothing that too.
Is this Michael Moore saying this before the election?
No, it's after. It's before the Electoral College election.
Right. So are they still somewhat campaigning? I mean, what? I don't understand. It's fucking confusing, America.
That's the same thing with the Brexit people, right? They don't seem to have stopped campaigning after their defeat. They're just like continuing on regardless, as if they don't understand what the loss means. And it's just like, look, guys, just knock it off. We're sick of you whining. Really fucking sick of it. Just fucking grow a pair.
Yeah, but it obviously becomes more of a lobbying type. It's not a public campaign. They're not wooing people. They're not wooing the people. They're wooing the people that matter, the voters. I mean, the electors.
I guess so. Yeah. Right. Okay. I'm just going through my old list of stuff. I've always got like way more than I can ever cover. Oh, fuck off. So yeah, you notice that the mainstream media is dying because they all put like fucking adverts for their Patreons before the articles now. Give you like daily limits.
For their Patreons? Really?
Not Patreon, but donate like £5 a month or something to us and keep our journalism coming. Yeah, and it's just like, look, I'm not fucking donating you any money. You are the problem. Who fucking would? But so yeah, apparently researchers' sexism fears are putting women's health at risk, scientist claims. I haven't actually read this yet.
Researchers' sexism fears.
Yeah, I think that's the fear of, I don't know, is it the fear of the researchers being sexist or encountering sexism? No, let's find out.
Yeah.
So,
fears of the researchers in relation to sexism, I suppose.
Right. Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. So scientists' fear of being labeled as sexists is putting women's health at risk because researchers have ignored crucial gender differences in the brain, it has been claimed. Male and female brains. Honestly, this is one of the major issues of social justice, is the chilling effect that it has. Because it's like this sort of mob justice on not even justice, but mob attacks on Twitter and Facebook.
This is just the London train station again. It's just the London train station again with the tranny. That's all it is. But it's just in the laboratory now.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's the same with anything, though. I mean, I honestly, I regularly get emails from people who are in like industries that I talk about who say, thanks, I don't feel I can speak out, but I really appreciate that someone is. And it's like, man, I can't even imagine being in that kind of environment where I felt scared to speak my mind on an issue.
Yeah, I get a lot of them from universities and that.
It's fucking scary, isn't it? And that's like the modern West. That's what people fail to understand. So yeah, okay, if this was someone from Cuba, I'd be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But it's not. It's someone from Oxford, the place that should be just the freest of places for speech. Anyway, so male and female brains react differently to drugs when it comes to conditions such as strokes, but research predominantly concentrates on men, the guest editor of this month's Journal of Neuroscience Research said. So now this is where this is like Slavoj Zizek going just like pure ideology, because that's what this fucking is.
Fucking who?
He's this like Czechoslovakian philosopher or something. I've not seen any. I've read anything by him, but I've seen interviews with him, and he seems pretty on the ball. Actually, he seems really good. But yeah, I mean, this is just like, it's total bullshit, isn't it? It's like we've determined in our feminist studies that gender is in fact not a thing. In fact, biological sex isn't a fucking thing. And so now they've got to kind of act as if it's not a thing, or they're going to bring down the wrath of the feminists. And that itself.
Haven't you been watching queer kid stuff, mate? It's taking YouTube by storm. Doctors are sometimes wrong about genders when they come out at birth.
So I've not seen that. What is it?
Well, it's this crazy fucking crazy non-binary lady who does this series of really scary regressive sort of it's literally called queer kid stuff, right? And it's
right, okay.
Got this it's okay to be gay sort of song at the fucking start, and it's teaching kids all about transgenderism and all that. It's absolutely fucked. I'm surprised you haven't seen it. But on one of the recent episodes, she's got a little teddy bear who's a friend because it's appealing to 5-year-olds. And she goes, sometimes when a baby's born, the doctor can get the gender wrong.
As if that's something kids need to worry about. What the fuck? That's what I think. That's the one thing that really pisses me off the most about these people is the fact they try to propagandize children. I don't want kids watching my videos. I want them watching fucking cartoons or something, going outside and kicking a football around. I don't want them watching my fucking videos.
Learning to count.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, being told that soon their mathematics is going to include letters and numbers, and oh, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So yeah, the research is then generalized and widened out for women, despite there being evidence that gender matters fundamentally, powerfully, and pervasively. Well, that is something that you can just picture feminists pitching a fucking fit about, isn't it?
Mm.
I mean, that is directly counter to everything they believe ideologically. Reality is just...
That's just bigoted. That's horrible.
Yeah, but it is to a feminist, isn't it? But it's just like, yeah, but reality says this is the case. So all you're doing is fighting the real world. That's. I mean, but the thing is, if someone would say to you, okay, well, I believe a thing, and if in reality that thing was not true, you'd look at them the same way you look at the flat earthers, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course.
Because they are literally denying reality. And yet, for some reason, people take someone who claims to be a feminist seriously. And I'm still trying to work it out. I just can't understand it.
It's because they're mostly chicks, mate. It's as simple as that.
It must be.
Just let them have it. Let them have it.
Mate, it must be that. I don't want to be a dick about it and be like, well, it's just like these men, and gynocentrism and all this sort of stuff. But I can't think of another good reason for it. Because, I mean, why the fuck would you do this? You'd look at them and go, what do you mean biological sex isn't real? As in, you think it medically doesn't exist. And they're like, yes, men and women are exactly the same, blah, 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 blah. You'd be like, okay, well, the earth is round as well, right? I mean, you would have to...
Jizz in this cup.
Yeah. Just if you believe that, are the Jews responsible for 9/11? I mean, what's are you going to go on the Alex Jones show and tell everyone that gender doesn't real? It's
hey! Trump supports Alex Jones. President fucking endorsed it.
To be fair though, Alex Jones is the new mainstream. Did you see that he's beating the Young Turks?
Has he? That's great.
I'd rather
fucking.
Let's check. He was the other day, but I just want to check. So
the Young Turk. I struggle to believe the Young Turks numbers sometimes. Like I used to see Young Turks live streams, and they'd have fucking thousands of people. They'd have 5,000 or 10,000 people watching. In the last 6 months, I've seen Young Turks on a live stream. They'd have fucking 200 people on it. 400 people.
Well, I get the feeling that they've got sort of specific times of the day when like Cenk and Anna are on, and then they get like 10,000 people watching or whatever. And then when they've got like their sports shows,
Cenk's the money spinner. Right?
Yeah, no, I think he actually is. I think Cenk and Anna actually are. And then when you've got like Jimmy Dore, and there's an Asian guy who's he's like an Asian Ben Carson. He's just so fucking low energy. And when they're on, it goes down to like 200 people.
So they're getting 1.5, 2 million plays a day.
Yeah,
That's good.
Well, 1.8 million plays a day. Although the daily average subscriber is terrible, absolutely terrible. I've got a fucking better daily average. 600 people.
Yeah, that's fucking shit.
Yeah.
What's your average?
Mine's 1,500. 1,479. Yeah. But let's have a look at Alex Jones' channel. We're going to break the fucking conditioning now. So yeah, he gets 1.8 million as well. He's just slipped just below. Oh my god, it's.
But he's on 2,500 subs a day. Is that right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Daily average is 2,500 a day. The Young Turks, 648 a day. But there's literally nothing in it though. He's got 1,827,000. Sorry, and the Young Turks get 1,844,000. So really fucking close. And then the 55 million per month, and Alex Jones 54.8. And it's just like, the other day, I checked this the other day and I tweeted it at Cenk because Alex Jones that day was getting more views. And by quite a significant margin, I was just like, so what's it like being the #2 news channel online? And of all the people to fucking lose to, it's Alex fucking Jones. You saw him storm the set, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was great.
Just talk about fucking triggered, man. I love it. So
I love the way Cenk was yelling like a, he was screaming, he was fucking savage. He was don't you let me get to him, and yet he wouldn't go after him. He wouldn't bait him. He wouldn't do anything.
Nah, and Alex Jones just standing there with his hands on his fucking hips and this huge shit-eating grin, just like, yeah, I win. It's like, dude, you just lost to Alex Jones. You know, you should have just asked him about the fucking moon landings or something.
And then that smug prick, remember that smug prick fucking spat on him? That was fun.
Oh, Jimmy Dore, yeah. Yeah. The thing is, right, this is something that if you go and watch Jimmy Dore's personal channel, sometimes he's like not that bad. You know, really? I know that sounds crazy, but he's really anti-Hillary because he's really class conscious. You know, he sits there and looks at her and sees a rich woman telling you that you can't say or do as you want. You know, so to him, she's quite an oppressive force, and so he doesn't like her. And so he's actually quite rational about the things that she's actually done. And so it's like, okay, Jimmy, let's have more of this, but in other areas. And I mean, he would be okay. He really would be okay. But for some, well, I mean, not for some reason, but you know, he is trapped in the Young Turks sort of echo chamber, and so
he's such a jerk on the Young Turks. He's just such a cunt.
Oh man, he was such a cunt when Alex Jones came in their studio. It was just like, it was so spineless. You know, sneak in from the side, spit in his face, and then run off.
It was piss weak.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, Jimmy, grow a fucking pair, mate. Honestly, and I mean, don't get me wrong, Alex Jones looked pretty tough though, didn't he?
I was just thinking that to be fair, Alex Jones would kick the fuck out of Jimmy Dore.
Tell me about it, man. I was looking when you've seen the shirt tearing off video, right?
What, with Alex Jones?
Yeah. Where he's just like,
I don't shirt tearing off video.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna get it. It's the funniest thing in the world. Hang on, Jesus Christ! So someone tweet Alex Jones to me because it's just, oh, hang on, where is it?
That's awesome. Why haven't we used that in videos? That'd be cool.
I don't actually watch enough Alex Jones to catch to catch all of this. But you probably won't be able to hear the sound, but he literally yells, "Get away from me, racist."
What the fuck? What? Where's this? Where did this happen? What is this? Is this at the fucking? I didn't see this bit.
He's like a fucking living meme.
What the? When the fuck did that happen?
I don't know.
Come back after everyone had gone home or something.
I don't know, but it's just I just love that he runs off into the night shirtless, just crazed rantings about globalists.
Look at that photo of him there between two hamburgers.
15 minutes of Alex Jones music. If I had the sound shared, I'll put it on. But in fact, I probably could actually, but we shouldn't. But yeah, no, I find Alex Jones to be the funniest thing in the world. And yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. I'm sure it's all an act. I mean, you can't be this successful if it's not an act. You know, an actual crazy person wouldn't be getting more than 2 million or almost 2 million views a day. So it has to be the fucking act. But that is just. I guess probably end it there because I've run out of news to talk about. Unless there's stuff you want to go over.
No, not really, man. Not really. You're more than news, man. I just give people shit, mate. So
yeah, fair enough. But yeah, no, thanks for joining, man. I appreciate it.
No, it's been great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime, man. You don't. It's because your fucking time zone. You got a weird ass time zone, haven't you?
Yeah, but I stay up all night to fucking work around America.
Right, okay. Well, fucking let me know when you're online.
So,
yeah. I'll get you on more streams, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, cool, man. All right. Yeah, right. Take it easy, everyone. Bye.